All right, so here we have a 2004 Nissan Titan. On this video here, we're going to show how to do the power steering pressure line. So what we're looking at now is the pressure line fitting to the rack and pinion. So we'll go ahead and loosen that fitting. I have a 14 millimeter line wrench that I'm going to kind of use with a pry bar to loosen. It's pretty tight. All right, so now that we have the line loose on the rack, we have two hold downs that we need to take off. All right, so this line, we want to separate these two. This is the only thing we have holding it on. Let's see what we can do here. Those are on like that. This piece should split. All right, so we just kind of give it a little bend. You can see that there's the clip. There we go. All right, so now we'll go up to the power steering pump underneath the engine in the engine compartment and finish removing that line. All right, so here we have the power steering pump. This is a pressure sensor. Go ahead and remove our wire. We have a banjo bolt down here. All right, so we just want to make sure when we pull this off that we do catch the little copper gaskets. That way we don't double gasket it. All right, so there's our one gasket. Once we pull our banjo, there's our other gasket on the base. We'll be replacing those. All right, so here we have our new part that we got from Auto Parts Direct to You. We'll go ahead and lay the two out, make sure everything is the same. There we have our new copper washers and our O-ring. All right, so we need to remove this pressure sensor and install it here. 2 O-rings supplied. One is going to be for the end here. We have a small one. We'll be putting the small one here, and then we have a bigger one that goes on the end here. So we'll go ahead and replace our O-rings. So we'll go ahead and lay this back in. We're going to leave this comes loose so that we can spin it. Once we get it installed and we get it in the correct position, then we'll go ahead and lock it down. So we'll go ahead and drop this line into place. All right, so once we install this into the line, this one will be on the other side. So we'll go ahead and get the line bolted up. All right, so we'll go ahead and put that one through. This one on the other side. So that's what we got to make sure that we don't drop that one off. As we're doing this. All right, so I can see I have my washers on both sides, so we made that. We're kind of loose. What we're going to do is go ahead and get the bottom done, and then work our way back up here to tighten that up. That way we have a little bit of flex when we're moving everything around. All right, so we'll go ahead and put our O-ring on down here. We'll go ahead and get this line positioned and started to be threaded on. All right, so now we'll go ahead and put our hold downs back. Just like we were like that. All right, so now we'll put it back our return line. All right, so now we'll go back up and tighten the top bolt. All right, we'll go ahead and finish tightening our banjo bolt now. All right, we'll go ahead and put our connector back on. All right, so now that we have everything back together, we'll go ahead and put some power steering fluid in. All right, so there's a couple different ways to bleed the system. This one, the reservoir sits right above the power steering pump, so it is getting a fluid load directly. So our chances of running it dry are just very slim, just at the very beginning. So what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to start the car just enough to get it to kind of move the belt system so the pump will move. We don't want the car to start because we don't want to have that high RPM on the pump right off the bat. So go ahead and we'll do some false starts on it. Once we get the false start done, we'll go back and make sure our level is good before we start the vehicle and cycle the system through. All right, so we haven't used much fluid. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and, just so it doesn't spew back out, we're going to start the car up and we're going to turn the wheel all the way to one stop and then all the way back to the other stop, and that will bleed the line out and the rack and pinion all the way through its full range of motion. We're going to let it cycle for a little bit. We'll go ahead and turn the vehicle off. We have a lot of air in this mixed in with the fluid there, so we need to work our air out. So we'll go ahead and shut it off, let it sit for a few minutes, start it up again, go back through that procedure, and once we get all the air out, you can see the noise starting to go away, and then we'll be done with that with this repair.